So today we're going to talk about Swami Vivekananda, an incredible figure who managed to build a bridge between the ancient wisdom of the East and the modern energy of the West. His life was short, but his impact was absolutely explosive, and we're going to break down exactly how he pulled it off.
Okay, so picture this. The year is 1893. We're at the Parliament of World's Religions in Chicago. A 30-year-old monk from India, totally unknown, steps up to the podium in these bright orange robes. He's nervous, he's waited all day to speak, but he opens his mouth and starts his address with these 5 simple but electrifying words.
And for that opening alone, just those 5 words, the audience of 7,000 people jumps to its feet for a massive 2-minute standing ovation. Now why? What was so special? Well, they had just never heard a greeting filled with such genuine, universal warmth. In that one single moment, a star was born.
So you have to ask, right? How on earth did this man, from a nation under British rule, someone completely unknown in the West, manage to command the world's attention so completely, so instantly? To figure that out, we've got to go back to the beginning. You see, his speech was a total revelation. He presented Hinduism not as some strange, mystical faith, but as a religion of profound tolerance and universal acceptance. This idea of spiritual harmony was, well, it was the exact opposite of the rigid, dogmatic missionary spirit of the time. The American press went wild, calling him an orator by divine right. He was an overnight sensation.
But to really get who this guy was, we have to rewind, because before he was Swami Vivekananda, he was Narendranath Datta, born in Calcutta back in 1863. And he wasn't born a saint, not at all. He was brilliant, yeah, but also sharp, and a deeply skeptical young intellectual with a very restless spirit.
And you can see where this inner tension came from right here, just by looking at his parents. His father was this progressive attorney, a very modern, rational thinker. His mother, on the other hand, was a woman of deep, traditional faith. So you've got this combination that gave him both a short, questioning mind and this deep, undeniable hunger for spiritual truth.
So his mind was a battlefield. He was devouring the works of Western thinkers like Immanuel Kant and Herbert Spencer, wrestling with their logic and reason, but at the exact same time, he was immersed in the ancient spiritual texts of his own culture. You can just imagine the internal conflict, this mind torn between modern skepticism and an ancient spiritual calling.
And books just weren't enough for him. He needed direct experience, not just theory. So he started going to all the great religious figures of his day with this one single, incredibly bold question. But nobody could give him an answer that actually satisfied that deep spiritual ache he had.
Until 1881. That's when he met Sri Ramakrishna, a mystic living at the Dakshineswar temple. And to Narendra's blunt question, Ramakrishna gave this direct, uncompromising reply. It wasn't an argument or a theory, it was a statement of experience. And that meeting, that answer, it completely changed the course of his life.
Now, after his master, Ramakrishna, passed away, Vivekananda set off on a whole new journey. This time, he wasn't really searching for God anymore. He was on an epic quest to truly understand his own country, India.
And his commitment was absolute. I mean, for 5 straight years, he lived as a wandering monk, traveling the entire subcontinent on foot with basically nothing. One day he'd be staying with princes in their palaces, the next with the poorest of the poor in their huts. It was this raw, unfiltered education into the soul-crushing reality of his nation. This whole journey came to a head at the southernmost tip of India. He swam out to this solitary rock in the sea, and there he meditated for 3 days straight. And in a powerful vision, his life's mission just crystallized. It became crystal clear. He had to take India's spiritual wisdom to the West, and then use the respect he gained there to come back and uplift the millions of his suffering countrymen.
So what was this message? What was this big idea that he carried all the way from that rock in India to the world stage in Chicago? Well, he put together a philosophy that was both incredibly ancient and at the same time radically new.
He called it practical Vedanta. Okay, so Vedanta is a really profound philosophical tradition from ancient Indian texts. It's deep stuff. But Vivekananda's genius was to take this high-minded philosophy out of the monastery and put it to work in the real world. His core idea was this: the truth of Vedanta, that God is in everyone, isn't meant for you to just sit in a cave and think about. No, it's a call to action. It means that serving a poor person isn't just charity, it's literally worshiping God.
And at the very foundation of his entire philosophy is this powerful idea.
He taught that divinity isn't something you have to go out and achieve, it's something you already have. It's your birthright. The whole purpose of life, then, is simply to uncover and express the perfection that's already inside you.
So how do you do that? Well, he outlined 4 main paths, or yogas, each one suited for a different kind of human temperament. So whether it's through selfless action, or deep devotion, or intellectual inquiry, or mental control, he taught that all of these paths, if you follow them sincerely, lead to the exact same goal of realizing that divinity within. So when Vivekananda came back to India in 1897, he wasn't some unknown monk anymore. He was a national hero, and he did not waste a single second putting his philosophy of practical Vedanta into action.
On May 1st, 1897, he founded the Ramakrishna Mission. And its motto, it just brilliantly captures his whole vision. You work for your own spiritual liberation while simultaneously serving the world. It's not one or the other. This was totally revolutionary. He created a brand new kind of monastic order, one dedicated to organized social service, running schools, hospitals, and disaster relief.
And then on July 4th, 1902, Swami Vivekananda passed away. He was only 39 years old. It is just staggering when you stop and think about the immense, world-changing impact he had in such an incredibly short time.
And his legacy, well, it's just vast. He's the key figure who really introduced yoga and Vedanta to the West. He gave a whole generation of Indian freedom fighters their philosophical backbone. He completely redefined what it means to be a monk, and he's still a champion for interfaith harmony. I mean, today his birthday is celebrated as National Youth Day in India, and for very good reason. His message of empowerment is timeless.
So I want to leave you with this. Vivekananda's message was a powerful, thundering call for strength, spiritual strength, mental strength, and physical strength. He believed that weakness was the only real sin. So as we look at the challenges in our own lives and in the world today, what does his powerful challenge to embrace strength and reject weakness, what does that mean for us right now? It's definitely a thought worth meditating on.